So you already have the balance of $19,000 on the LOC. You're looking at adding, say, a $20,000 chunk onto the mortgage. Your interest on this $39,000 would be $293. It won't be that high because they'll average it out. The bank will. So that makes your balance $39,293. Your income then at $9,500 would go into this line. So you'd be at $29,793. So this is income month one. Then your expenses would come back out, which would be your home, the $37.83, let's say. So this is your mortgage payment. So you're at 33. Then you're going to add your living expenses back in, which is $2802. So you're at 36. Then you would just do your chunk again of $9,500. So this is the way you're going to be taking care of getting your balance down in this line. So let's see what the actual $20,000 is going to save you by using that. So you're at $26,878 into your second month here. So let's look and see how much interest that $20,000 chunk is going to actually save you by doing it. So you are paying approximately $2,780 in interest right now, approximately. Then to jump a $20,000 jump from where this $20,000 is going directly into the principal of the mortgage, that means that you're going to be at $613,447. So you have a $633 balance, then you're making the $20,000 chunk. So let's say you're at $613,900 approximately. So with that being said, you have made a jump to August of 2026. So you've jumped 3 years and you've saved $64,800 in interest for that one chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, let's see how long it's going to take this to work down to see how often you can make $20,000 chunks. So if we're at $26,878 and we're going to add your mortgage payment and your living expenses back into that, plus $37.83, $28.02. So $33,463 is your new balance. Then we're going to add some interest to say $251. So $33,714. Bringing in your $9,500 again. So this is month 3. So you're at $24,214. Then we'll do it again. We're going to add in your expenses. I'm just seeing how long it's going to take you to work this down so that you can do another chunk. That'll be $218 interest. So $31,017. Then you're going to do your $9,500 again. So this is month 4. So you're at $21,517. Now we're doing it again. $65.85 expenses. Then we're going to add some interest. So $197. Do it again. So this is income 5. It looks like every 6 months you're going to be making a chunk, because in 5 months it brought you down below the original balance you had. So one more month I would think you would go ahead and do. Now, do you just want to stick with doing it every 6 months, doing a chunk, or do you want to see what happens if you did a $40,000 chunk and see, because it would take you a year then to bring that back down?
Well, I was thinking also that we have, let's see, I'm looking at it. We have a positive cash flow of $2,700.
Okay.
So I was thinking I could speed that up too, right? When I make my deposit, I can deposit more. Oh no, that's included. That's true.
The $9,500 is actually going into pay.
It pays everything. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. Because I was like confused. I'm like, okay.
So was I.
How fast are you wanting to get out of the house payment?
As quick as possible.
Yeah.
I don't want to give that bank any more money than they
exactly
than they can earn. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Let's say so. You're 25,561, and then the 9,500. So at month 6, you're going to be at 16,061. You could keep working that down to zero. You could make another chunk now. You can make another chunk here. I mean, it's literally going to depend on how you feel about dragging out month to month. So when I work one-on-one with people, I like to give them motivation by trying to make a chunk about every 4 months onto debt. So you could make it however you want. The earlier you make the chunk onto the mortgage, the more interest you're going to save.
Yes.
So if you wanted to do the $40,000 chunk up front and then work it down, 6 to 8 months, and then do $10,000 chunks after that, then you're going to benefit more than making a $20,000 chunk now and then one in 6 months, just because you're hitting more interest up front. That would be whatever you feel like you want to do.
So that would be ideal if I do a $40,000 chunk.
Okay.
To begin with, right? Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see how much interest you're going to save compared to the $20,000 if you went ahead and did the 40 up front. So this is on a 20K chunk. Now let's do a 40K and see what you get. Okay, so that would take you to approximately April of 2029.
Oh my God.
So April, isn't that beautiful? 2029.
It is.
And then let's see.
They should teach this in school.
I know, right? And here we are older and learning, and it makes you mad.
It does.
So you're saving $106,000 on interest if you do a 40. So you're literally saving 42,000 approximately by doing a $40,000 chunk.
Yes.
Because, see, you're hitting the years now that the interest is going to start backing down out of your payment. So now remember, I'm saying April of 2029, but for however long it takes you to work off this 40,000, you're still making monthly mortgage payments too. So
yes,
that is still adding to what's going on to your principal, ever so small, because you're doing $800 to $900 towards the principal. But I mean, you're still applying, even though you've applied the big chunk. So I can't give you a definite on how long it's going to take you to pay off the mortgage, because you're making those payments in between, which is cutting the principal back as well, moving you down month. Now, there's a software I can send you through, and it'll give you a guaranteed payoff date. You're welcome. That's a free analysis you can do to see. That will give you the payoff date. So that way, if you're wanting to know how long it's going to take you to get out of this mortgage, I can guesstimate, but it gives you actuals based on your numbers. So you're welcome to try that if you want to. But according to these numbers, I mean, you're looking at working this down. Yeah, about every 14 months, you're going to be able to make another $40,000 chunk. But remember what I said. You could work this down, the 40,000 down for 6 or 8 months and do another $10,000 chunk. You don't have to wait out the whole 14 months. That's totally your decision.
Right.
So you're probably talking about a very quick payoff. That's a $633,000 home. Where did you say what state are you in?
Arizona.
Let me see if I can kind of guesstimate. I'll guesstimate for you when you're going to have this paid off. So.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. 7, maybe 8, because where it's getting me is where these payments you're making in between each of your chunks is
right.
That's just impossible for my mind. That's why the computer does so good with the software, is it can actually do the numbers in its head. But I would about bet that it's going to be earlier than 8 years, 7 years, because I'll just tell you, I figured a lady at 7 years the other day, she had $511,000 in debt, but she only made $8,600 a month. And the computer, I had her at 7 years. The computer brought her up to 5.1 years. So that's just the difference, in what it can lay out number-wise and then what I can.
Sure.
So what were you looking at?
That's about right. Yes.
What you were hoping for? Well, that's about what you've got, because that's a big debt, but at the same time, you've got a big shovel to be spooning it out. So
True. Yes.
and using the line starting as soon as possible, like today, is how just that determines how much interest you're going to cut off, is how early you get started actually chunking onto that mortgage.